Sorry. Hey guys, greetings and welcome to MTG Crusaders. You may have caught my excitement there because that is my first time seeing that intro and that had me really excited. In case you guys didn't know, well, I mean, of course you guys didn't know because we have an announcement. This is our official announcement. We are having a small name change due to just some discussion between Josh and myself. We are
Hey, that's me.
Rebranding. Yeah, that's Josh. What's up? Hey, dude.
Hey, I know it's been a while since I've been on a show.
I know, right?
Any shows.
But we've decided to go with Magic Crusaders or MTG Crusaders as a name change. Like we said, just discussion between us. But welcome. I'm so glad that you guys could join us. I have decided to take a professional step and advice from the professor and be beside myself and look the part. I'm just kidding. I didn't do any of that.
I was going to say, I've heard him say that before. Just so you know, speaking of the professor, he is the nicest guy in person.
Is he? I know you had the chance to go to the summit recently. Do you want to take a minute to talk about that?
Yeah. So MTG Summit took place in Salt Lake City a couple weeks ago. It was a huge Magic event. They had a big a number of tournaments, and the winner actually got a Black Lotus.
Ooh.
A number of different celebrities.
Like non-proxy Black Lotus, right?
No,
like
it was
like an actual Black Lotus.
It was from, was it a collect? I think it was collector's edition Black Lotus.
That's pretty cool.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
So on top of that, they had, pre-release for the Brothers War, which we'll talk about here later. A number of different celebrities within the Magic community. If you guys remember Rachel Weeks, who we'd spoken with on an episode.
Lovely person.
I finally got to meet her in person and actually got to sling some spells with her. So awesome. that was fun. Yeah. And you remember how awesome she was on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
That same way in person.
She's great. I wish I could have afforded to go out there and be with you, Rachel, Professor, and all these other creators out there. Because it looked to be, from the photos you sent me, it looked to be an absolutely amazing time.
Oh, it was. Let's see, who else? Oh, Olivia Gobert Hicks. Got to meet her.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, she is a true gem and a half.
She could lift at least 3 of me.
And I would be okay with that. I would be perfectly content with that.
She just randomly deadlifts you.
You know what? I would take that as a true honorable moment. However, I did have a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't know if I told you about this, but I had the chance to play a couple of games with Brian Kibler.
Ooh.
And
that is super cool.
And I'll bring this up because it's such a cool. Okay, first off, Brian Kibler, nicest human ever. So yeah, there he is, top right.
Yep.
And then so I was hanging out with a number of veterans that were there at the summit, helping them out so they could really make the most of their experience. I got to meet Greg, the painter's servant. I don't know if you've seen his altars. Joe from 3D or the Forge 3D altars. His stuff's really cool. So got to meet them. But we were playing this game with Kibler. And first game he plays Ruick Thar.
Yes.
And
that makes me so happy.
Hell.
That makes me so happy.
That game was nuts. He had such a huge board. I will take one of the funniest moments, I played Living Death. completely taking out his board.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Well, you know what? He bounced back very quickly and curb stomped the table. And it was funny when I played Living Death again. Hats off to Brian for being the true Hall of Famer that he is. He was having just as much fun. I mean, he was drawing cards. His board state was disgusting.
Yes. Brian, if you ever watch this, you're the man. Thank you so much.
Oh, he really is.
You are awesome. You rock.
Now, the second game, I played Animar, Soul of Elements.
Did you do Morph?
No.
Okay.
No. So I was having that moment, and my buddy Nick and I were joking that whenever we play, we always tell ourselves, what would Kibler do? And it was
WWKD.
Play creatures. And so I did that. Turn 1, play a forest, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet. Turn 2 was Llanowar Elves, and then a couple other mana dorks.
Why didn't you play Llanowar Elf for turn 1? Come on,
how often do you get a turn 1 Soul Ring into Arcane Signet?
But if you had Llanowar Elf in hand, I mean, you could have gone.
But as the game got going, I got my Swiftfoot boots out. I got those onto Animar, and I top decked Ancestral Statue. Now, if you don't know what Ancestral Statue does, well, let me fill you in on how nasty and amazing
it's really
this
good
card is. It is a fantastic card, and for it being a common, it just works with Animar. So with Animar has protection from white and from black. And whenever you cast a creature, you put a 1/1 counter on Animar, and then creatures you cast cost 1 less for each counter on Animar.
Yep.
So
generic mana, not colored mana.
Exactly. So with Ancestral Statue, if you have 4 counters on Animar, Ancestral Statue is free. When Ancestral Statue enters the battlefield, return a non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. So,
and that can target itself. So you just
target itself. So you bounce and you just flicker the crap out of Ancestral Statue. Kibler was tapped out at this moment. And I pop off, and one of the other guys is like, I think I can stop this. And I go, for the love of all that is holy, I will kill you last. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Let me beat Brian Kibler.
Kibler, being the true Hall of Fame pro player that he is, he knew I was targeting him. He couldn't stop it. And sure enough, my Animar hit him for 15 trillion damage.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
And again, being the pro that he is, he signed my card. And he changed the power and toughness to infinite/infinite.
That's amazing. Yes.
So Magic Summit was phenomenal. You know, there were hiccups. It was their first show, but I'm not going to blame the organizers. I do want to give a shout out to Kingdoms TV for putting on this show. They did a phenomenal job with everything they had going against them, and they're local. They're based out of Utah, so it was absolutely. I
just realized, Brian, if you ever watch this, just know, I'm a man of
many gruel.
I understand. Rurik Thar is my favorite commander. There's a reason.
I run Rurik Thar in the Animar deck as well.
But you see, that's one of the 99. Doesn't count.
But
he has to be the commander.
Now,
anyway,
you've seen him play. Now, I should note he was also playing his Dragon deck. one of his lands cost more than my entire deck.
I can see that. Yep.
When he's been playing since '94, yeah. But it was such a great time, and again, shout out to Kingdoms TV for putting it on, and I really, really hope they do more, because I know we had a blast talking to the different celebrities: Joe Johnson, Rachel, Prof, Olivia, Brian, Reed Duke. I know I'm name dropping a lot, but I took the opportunity to talk to all of them.
Oh yeah, as one should. That's the reason why they put that summit on, so that us players can come by and meet them. It's really cool. It's really
they had a lot of the original artists too. So I have a Sol Ring now signed by Mark Teaton.
Oh. Now I'm going to take a moment to say this. A lot of people will tell you don't meet your heroes, because they're often, as one does, there are heroes. We often put them on a pedestal, and so more times than not, we're disappointed. But among the Magic the Gathering creators that I have met, from previous shows, from being guest stars, from having guests on this show, I don't think I've been disappointed with meeting a single one. Every single person that I have met has been absolutely genuine. They've been amazing people. Josh Lee Kwai and Jimmy Wong, wonderful guys. And working with them, they know exactly what they want when you're working for them. And they're great for directing. They're just great to work with. DJ is a teddy bear of a man. He's just, I think I met him, and 5 seconds later he gave me a big old bear hug, and I was like, oh, this is great. I love
he
DJ.
Seems like that bear huggy kind of guy. Another one that I would love to bring on the show and sling some spells with. That's right, DJ. We're talking to you.
Yep.
Challenge has been made.
Join us if you dare. They did release speaking of Brothers War and everything, which we'll discuss in a minute. They released a card that DJ has to make, and we'll discuss it later in the episode. But I do want to. Is
it one of our picks?
It's not one of our picks. But I'll mention it towards the end of the episode, because I don't want to spoil anything.
Don't spoil.
Well, anyway.
How about we? So first and foremost, one of the things, as you caught on, we're going to be talking about Brothers War. I feel like Brothers War kind of got, for lack of better words, a shit end of the stick. Really? With all the hoopla around the 30th anniversary edition.
Look, I really didn't want to discuss that. That's one thing that I didn't want to discuss today, is the 30th anniversary, because it was a thing that happened. It was a decision that Wizards of the Coast made. Was it a good decision? By all means, no.
I would go as far as saying it was more of a Hasbro decision rather than Wizards. Obviously, their game, their product. I'm going to continue to buy their stuff regardless. I think this is more Hasbro.
It may have been. All I'm going to say on the subject, and then I think we should move on from this, is that
absolutely
30th anniversary was a thing that happened that shouldn't have happened. And for all those who were out there and enjoy the product and could afford the product, happy for you. But for people like myself and Josh, who are not what do we call it? I don't want to call it
broke ass bitches.
I was trying to stay away from saying that, but sure.
I'm gonna call it like I see it, dude. You know me by now.
It wasn't a Magic product for us and people like us. So, like I said, if you bought it and you enjoy it, I'm happy for you. But my personal opinion is that it was a thing that happened that shouldn't have happened. Moving on.
You know what did happen? That is for us. It's the Brothers War.
It sure did. If you notice, we're even matching. I loved it. I just realized that we're kind of matching. We're both wearing purple. See, I decided to try to do my best. I decided to dress up my best Urza because I got the beard. I got the long hair. You've got the beard.
No, no, no,
Got
no,
the
no, no,
shirt.
no, 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 no. See, you are the younger. Therefore, you are Mishra.
Look,
I am Ursa.
maybe once I shave, I can get it down. I actually do plan on cosplaying at some point.
If we're going off of that, I am Ursa. Straight up. Yes, I know Mishra gets himself lost in Phyrexia, and he's a hero for doing so.
You're the Phyrexian, bud. You've got a Phyrexian tattoo. More reason why you should be Mishra.
Why can't we have Urza, Lord of the Phyrexians? He took over Phyrexia and stole it from his brother.
Maybe in an alternate universe. That would be a really cool thing to see.
We've got Phyrexia All Will Be One and March of the Machines.
Mm-hmm. That would be really cool. That would be a really cool thing to say.
Anyway, top cards. I will let you start on this one.
So these are our top picks. We each went through the set, picked 5 cards that we thought were our personal favorites. And my first and foremost is I'm going to come out with a big hitter because, I like my big spells. This is not a creature. This card is called Portal to Phyrexia. It is a 9-drop artifact that states when Portal to Phyrexia enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. So immediately, it's 9 mana, remove 3 things. So now, if you're playing against something like a Voltron deck or something that swings big creatures, so they're not going to have many creatures out, or even something that has like a bunch of utility creatures out,
or ward, hexproof, shroud.
It gets around ward, hexproof, everything like that. It can be detrimental to an opponent's strategy. Not to mention it in a commander format, it says each opponent. So that's more. It's not even 9 mana, remove 3 creatures. It's 9 mana, remove 9 creatures. Because more times than not, you're going to have 3 opponents, or 9 mana, 6 creatures. 9 mana. It's a great card.
Very well with Turgid. I mean,
just saying. But the second ability is really what sells it. It says at the beginning of your upkeep, put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It is a Phyrexian in addition to its other types. So not only 9 mana, remove up to 9 creatures that gets around ward or hexproof, shroud, getting rid of detrimental cards or things that are detrimental for your opponents and things that are bad for you. It can then start stealing things. True, it's only during your upkeep, so it's not each upkeep. It's not super big, but this is one of my personal favorites. I play this a lot in Arena. I built a deck in Arena that once I get this on the battlefield, a lot of players just immediately scoop.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful card.
Oh yeah, it's so many janky things you can do with it. Yeah, love this one. Great pick.
And if you run something like what is it, Conjurer's Closet, that says exile target creature or artifact, and you just blink it, it doesn't. If you have that on the battlefield, it's 9 mana, remove 18 creatures or whatever. So
how okay? Hear me out.
Anything that can blink it.
Hear me out.
I love it.
So now that you've seen Portal to Phyrexia, this one works with. I probably spelled that wrong, but you know what? I know magic cards. Words,
I'll find it.
Not so much. But Mishra, Eminent one.
Mm-hmm. The one out of the commander.
Exactly. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of target non-creature artifact you control, except its name is Mishra's Warform, and it's a 4/4 construct. So, beginning of combat. Portal Phyrexia is already out. Boom. Yep. Make a copy of it. You get the ETB triggers again. Now, typically you're supposed to sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, but there's ways around that. Could you imagine 4, 5, 6 triggers of Portal to Phyrexia?
It gets gross.
Yeah.
It gets gross.
It's wonderful.
Oh, I love it.
And we won't talk about the Commander product. We'll save that for another episode because that's a whole.
Yeah, we're trying to stick with cards that are specifically out of the set.
I know, but
the Commander
combos,
cards,
man, combos.
I'm a group player. I just swing. I don't do combos.
Yes, I know. You like big dumb creatures that do big dumb things.
Hey, look, I went to stretch today and I literally busted my lab coat. Like, I felt really bad about busting my lab coat, but I also felt like really swole. Like I went stretch and it went, and so it just gave me a hulking out moment. It was nice.
Fair enough.
But anyways.
Next one. So my first pick is one that should not be a surprise to anybody because one, I'm a Pauper player. Two, it's a really good card. Recommission for 1 and a white, a sorcery, return target artifact or creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it's a creature, or if a creature enters the battlefield this way, it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it.
Mm-hmm.
This does wonders. You want to get your Wayfarer's Bauble back? Great.
You want to get your Mishra's Bauble? Your Ursa's Bauble?
You want to get your all your baubles. If you want to get if you want to get your Navigator Orb, Sculpting Steel, any of those tutors back.
Somebody removes your Soul Ring. Guess what? Get my Soul Ring back.
Exactly. Or if someone kills your Ornithopter of Paradise. I mean, there's a whole lot of different cards that could be used, or not used, but targeted with recommission.
It's a good one.
Such a such a wonderful card. 13 cents. It's a common. This should be if you're playing white, this should honestly be in every deck. And like I said, it is strong as hell in Pauper.
There's a white deck I'm going to put it in, and once again, it will be a card that we talk about later.
You're a horrible human being. But moving on, sir.
Mm-hmm. All right, so my next card that I've got pulled up is something that I know we said, or I literally just said, that we're going to try to stay out of the Commander product. But this card was just too good that I had to mention it. All right. This card is called, if Josh could spell it, it's called Root Path Purifier. Now, all of my other Commander players out there that may be watching this, you read this card and you immediately know how excited I am about it. Lands you control and land cards in your library are basic. So, your migration paths, your
command tower.
Look, any card that allows you to search your library for a basic land card can now grab your command towers, your blighted woodlands, your battlefield forges, your dual lands, anything that is not basic, usually you can now search up, which provides value to those cards that you normally wouldn't put in the Commander deck because they're like,
who would have thought Evolving Wilds just got a whole lot of gas with this card?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's shoot. It's oh, I'm so excited about it. Yep. You play your Evolving Wilds, search your library for a basic land card, and then surprise, you have a Gaia's Cradle.
You know, that's how disgusting this card is, and I love it. The interesting thing with this, and I bring this up because one, your DJ had also brought up this thought. You look at the price of the classic version, like what I've got pulled up. Currently, at the time of recording, is $21.61. However, the extended art, $15.97, almost $6 cheaper.
Which is
same card.
Strange. It's strange.
Yeah,
you would think that the full art would be more, but
you know what? take what you can get, right?
Yep. Shoot, I'd rather have the full art. If it was more expensive, I'd still probably get the full art because I love artwork. And I've said it so many times in the past that Wizards of the Coast, if they've done anything right so far, which they have been doing several things right, but the one thing that they are doing consistently right by us players is their artwork.
Mm-hmm.
That whoever is on the artwork team over at Wizards, you're knocking it out of the ballpark. Amazing.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. No, this is one of those cards, where I mentioned that recommission, if you're playing white, that needs to be in the deck. If you're playing green or you have green in the deck, this needs to be in your deck.
I think this is going to see a lot of upcoming commander play. And I think it's quickly going to become a green staple.
I would already call it a staple, and I would hope that Wizards also reprints this a lot because of the impact that it will have.
Sakura Tribe Elder. Now, there's so many things. Any Sack Me Daddy is what my group calls it. Sack Me Daddy Elder is what we call. Anyways, moving
along. Okay, so now that we've really. Oh man, this is a horrible segue. It's perfect, but you call it Sack Me Daddy for Steve.
Ooh.
And my next card is Awake in the Woods. So Awake in the Woods is such a fun and broken card, and I love it. So for X green, create X 1/1 green forest dryad land creature tokens. The reason why I like this, landfall decks. You want to hit those landfall triggers. This combined with Scoot Swarm.
Well, Scoot Swarm. No, yeah, it works. It works because it's still lands. They may be tokens, but they're lands.
Ashaya.
Yep, Ashaya.
Where its power and toughness is equal to the forest. Black Blade Reforged.
You create X Arbor Elves.
Yep. The interesting thing with this is Awake in the Woods is really kind of playing off of the land card Dryad Arbor.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Dryad Arbor, not Arbor.
Yep.
Arbor. Yep. Which, fun fact, Dryad Arbor works with the card that we just talked about, the Root Path Purifier.
Root Path Purifier, yep.
Because it's a land.
Yep.
And now, if Root Path Purifier is on the battlefield, it becomes basic. You get to search for your...
you can use Kodama's Reach. You can use Cultivate. Yep. But for landfall decks, this is definitely a mass card worth getting. If you're playing Gruul, I hope you're playing Rhythm of the Wild. Get at least 10. Next turn, play Triumph of the Hordes, and everyone dies.
Well, if you're talking about landfall triggers, Omnath, the newest Omnath that has landfall. Whenever land is created, you create a land, or you play a land, you create a token, you draw a card, something gets flying, and that's just with one spell. Get all of them. Get all those triggers.
Okay, so combine this with Felidar Retreat. Whenever land enters the battlefield, you can either put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, or create a 3/3 cat beast creature token.
Is it 3/3 or
knowing me, I would actually go with the 1/1 counters on everything. It combos really well with Iridescent Horn Beetle.
Yep.
At the beginning of your end step, you create X 1/1 insect creature tokens, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters that were put on creatures.
If you're in white, throw Abzan Falconer in there. Boom! They all have flying.
There's a lot of dirty things that can be done in Commander with this.
I'm currently building a +1/+1 counter deck. Jeskai. Abzan Falconer is going to be a great card to put in there.
But you create all those
Crusade.
You create all those dryads with Felidar Retreat, put all the counters on them, Triumph for the Hordes, boom, everyone dies from Infect.
See, that's what I'm talking about. You and that Infect again, Phyrexian. Man, you're just being more Mishra. Yep.
Anyway.
Just so, on the camera.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Anyway, moving along.
Sane has, look, I'm actually surprised that all three of the cards that we just met, or the last two and the one I'm about to mention, have something to do with lands. This one is more of a taking away, though. This is a negative thing. This one, Urza Silex, 3-drop artifact, legendary artifact. You can pay 2 and 2 white, 2 generic, 2 white to tap it, exile it. Each player chooses 6 lands they control, destroy all of the permanents. Not non-land permanents, all of the permanents. So your lands, artifacts, creatures, enchantments.
All them damn tokens.
All those tokens.
All those treasure tokens. Ugh.
Gone. Just only activate as a sorcery. And then when Urza Silex is put into exile from the battlefield, you may pay 2 generic mana. If you do, search your library for a Planeswalker card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle. So it's a board wipe.
Part of Veils?
It's a board wipe and a tutor on a card, and a fantastic equalizer. Mm-hmm. So let's say you're playing against somebody who has awakened the Wildwoods, or Awaken the Wilds. Sorry, just they have so many lands. They have like 40 mana. They have a Nyx Bloom Ancient on the battlefield. They have so much mana that they don't know what to do with it.
Or a ton. A ton of mana dorks.
Yep. A 2-lane. They're playing 2 lanes. So every single time they cast a creature, they get a land. They get a land. They get a land. It's turn 5. And they have 14 lands. You play Urza Silex. Boom. They are right there with you.
Be like, you know what? Slow down. Bring it down a notch.
It is a fantastic card to make sure everybody is playing the same game. And, you know, you may be ahead on mana, and you have like no creatures in the hand or no spells in hand. You've drawn all lands, but somebody else has all creatures. Well, guess what? You have all lands in hand. You can rebuild. You can at least put more lands on the battlefield, but you don't have anything to defend yourself. So get rid of everything.
Yep.
It's an equalizer, and I love it.
Better than Armageddon.
A tutor. Oh my gosh. And it's so 4 mana, get 4 mana, equalize everything, 6 mana, equalize everything, and tutor for any Planeswalker card. It's pretty great. Pretty great.
Yep.
So if you want to do all that, you essentially still have to pay 9 mana. So to cast it, 4 to activate it, 2 more to, so am I doing that right? Math right? Yeah. 4, 6. Plus 3, 9.
9. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's going to cost a pretty penny. But if we looked at it, like, all right, 9 mana for Portal to Phyrexia. So
yeah. Well, you know, the nice thing is it may cost a pretty penny in mana, but it's super budget friendly.
It really is. Right now, at
for
time
the
of
regular,
recording,
$352 for the extended art. So
it's fantastic. Not popular.
No, it's also fantastic. Is when a card is named Liberator, you know it's going to be good.
Yep. This. Oh, jeez.
And that's my next one is Liberator Urza's Battle Thopter, a 3-drop Thopter, 1/2. It has flash, it has flying, and you may cast colorless spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. Whenever you cast a spell, if an amount of mana was spent to cast that spell is greater than Liberator Urza's Battle Thopter power, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So it does a few different things. It's like a mixture of Champion of Lamholt with Shimmermere. That allows you to play artifact spells at flash speed.
Yep. The only thing it doesn't do is reduce cost. But
that's okay.
That's perfectly okay.
I mean, Animar is broken as it is. We don't need an artifact version of it.
True.
But again, the fact that a lot of these cards that we're bringing up, with the exception of Root Path Purifier, are all super budget friendly. Which means you could slot these into any deck. I mean, I'm thinking this one may actually fit into my Urza's Iron Alliance upgraded.
I'm hoping to get a playset of these and putting one in each of the 4 decks. One in 4 decks. One is in Shroom. I have Shroom the Hegemon Artifact Tribal. It's got the Thopter Assembly and Time Sieve Infinite Combo in it. It's great. It's one of the only decks I have that has an Infinite Combo in it. I love it. Fantastic card. I played against a guy on Arena. I play a lot of Arena, for those who don't know. Had this as a commander. Whoop my butt. Just constantly just churning out artifacts.
Yeah. That's good. It's a solid card. I like it. Again,
speaking of churning out artifacts and having so many things on the battlefield, that kind of segues into our next card.
Try not to
it's definitely it's I went over the top on this one, and it's so aptly named. It's so aptly named. Over the top is 5 generic 2 red sorcery. Each player reveals a number of cards from the top of their library equal to the number of non-land permanents they control. Puts all permanent cards revealed this way onto the battlefield, and then put the rest of those cards, if you had non-land cards that you revealed, into your graveyard. It's so well named. So well named. So well named. Yeah. It's over the top. Because you don't have to have creatures. You don't have to have
look at that extended art.
The extended art is wonderful. Wonderful. Artwork. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. But like, if you have a bunch of, let's say you have 10 treasure tokens and 7 lands. You cast this for 7. You get 10 permanents off the top of your library because of those treasure tokens. If you're running enchantments, oh my god, the shrine commander that came out recently, that
Shintai of Life's Origin.
Yeah. Yep. Just get a bunch of shrines.
This is going in my shrine deck.
Any permanents off the top of your library for 7 mana. It's great. It's great. I love cheating out things. Can you imagine? And since you're in red, there are so many. Reverberate it. Dual cast it. Copy it.
No, reverberate it, and then use the lithoform engine.
Yeah.
Copy and copy.
Just get everything. Just get everything. And since you may have to correct me if I'm wrong, but since each one of those resolves individually, you get more and more and more.
Yep.
So
because of the way the stack will resolve.
So you cast it the first time. Let's say you just reverberate it. Copy it 2 more times. Right? So you get three casts. You have 3 permanents on the battlefield at the time of the first cast. First one resolves. So pancake, right? You eat the first pancake. 3 permanents. Let's say you revealed 2 more off the top of your library.
Now you had 5.
Now you have 5. Second pancake. You reveal the top 5. You get 1 permanent. I'm lowballing here. Super lowballing. And it is non-land, so lands don't count. So you have 6 by the time you eat the third pancake. You reveal the top 6. You get however many permanents you get there.
I know.
I'm gushing over it. I'm gushing.
You know, the one thing, and me being the player I am, I see this card and my first thought was, cool. If I have Containment Priest out, any creatures that you cheat out, gone.
Yeah, true. There is ways around it. Somebody can counterspell it. Swan Song.
True.
You're like, yes, I can get so many permanents. Swan Song. You get a bird.
a blood.
You get a voidy. So yeah, it's unless you do some kind of trickery, there is ways to cause this to fizzle out. And most people, if you're playing with an experienced group, you go to cast this, they're going to be like, haha, no.
You could also use it as a political avenue as well.
You could.
And be like, hey,
it does say each player. It's not just you.
And this is one of those ones for games that are going really, really long. You can be like, you know what, guys, let's speed up the game. Let this resolve and everybody wins.
Oh, I see. Let's say you're playing against somebody and they've just been hitting land after land after land and they haven't really done anything. This was a way to let them be in the game too.
Yep. See, it doesn't have to all be bad.
Yeah. Be political. Be smart. Be a good commander player. Be better.
I feel like that should be a commercial we make.
That's gonna be our next advert.
Hey, you know what? That's not a bad idea. But you know
be better.
Speaking about being better, you know, the one thing about this set that I absolutely love is Wizards put a lot of thought in and a lot of work into this set. They worked really hard. I mean, the amount of workers on this. Okay, I'm dragging this joke out.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, they're doing a great job at assembling these cards.
So my next pick is actually it's a cycle of cards. The trifecta. So there's 3 different cards. There's Power Plant Worker, Tower Worker, and Mine Worker. Mm-hmm. Now, for those experienced players, you know that this is a callback to the Urza lands, Urza's Power Plant, Urza's Mine, and Urza's Tower. Mm-hmm. And once you add all 3 of those lands out, you got extra mana from that.
Yeah. It's like 3 lands gave you 7 colorless mana. It was great. It invented a whole new format called Tron.
Exactly. Now we have Tron workers. So with each of these workers, they each have a different bonus, if you will. Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing that I love about this. So for example, Power Plant Worker, you pay 3, gets +2/+2 until end of turn. But if you control all 3, so Power Plant, Mine, and Tower Worker, then you put 2 1/1 counters on Power Plant Worker instead. Activate only once each turn. So you can't go super cray with it.
But each of them have a separate ability.
Exactly. So like Tower Worker, tap to add 1 colorless mana. If you control the other workers, add 3 instead. And then with Mine Worker, you tap, gain a life. If you control the 3, you gain 3 life instead. Again, genius planning on how this. Now they are very weak as far as they can be destroyed easily, but it's the thought that counts. I love the fact that they called back to the Tron lands and created a new cycle of creatures. And again, me being a Pauper player, these are Pauper legal.
Yep. They're pretty decent for Tron.
Oh,
or not Tron, sorry, Pauper. They're pretty decent for Pauper.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
And
play 4 of each of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, works great with affinity decks because they're also artifact creatures. So,
do you think these would be viable in like modern affinity?
Yes,
I know that modern, can get expensive because a lot of the good cards being in modern are expensive.
I would have to look at the meta to see, but I don't play a whole lot of modern. Commander and Pauper is really my shtick.
Fair. So. I'm pretty much strictly a commander player, but that doesn't mean that I can't observe the other formats and enjoy it.
That's true. But yeah, so that was my pick. I kind of cheated that one, but I couldn't name just one. without mentioning the other two.
Oh yeah, understandable. They all go together. They say each other's names on the cards. They have to work together.
They go together like the Power Stone and Meek Stone.
Well, I don't know if that's a good reference because they got split. They got.
But when they get put together, you meld.
You're correct.
Like what I did there?
Yeah, you did. And that leads us to it. No, that's actually no. That would be really cool if it could lead into our next card. But unfortunately.
But that's not your next one.
It's not my next one because, funnily enough, I don't think either of us put the new Urza or Mishra on our lists.
No, because other channels had really made a big.
Yeah, they made a big splash on other channels and other. They're pretty much the name of the set. Everybody who plays Magic knows about Urza and Mishra. The reason I picked this card as my 5th top pick is because
it's white.
Is because it is card draw in white.
Wizards has done a lot of hard work as far as getting getting more card draw in white, and because so shout out to them.
For a long time, blue was the reigning king for card draw in any format, and then they switched over to black. It's switched over to black, it was blue, then red, then black, green for a little while. Well, green, green actually has a lot of forms of card draw. Green has pretty much stuck its toes into every single bit. It's overgrowing the color pie. Yeah. But white, I think one of the best ones that we saw a while ago was the Diplomat. Esper Sentinel is a very good one. I love that artwork.
This is one of my new proxies.
Yeah, I know, but it's still pretty nice. But I'm trying to remember the Mangila the Diplomat.
Yeah.
That's not his name, but nope, it's not Mangler. Anyways, but
it shows you how powerful Scryfall is.
Yeah,
Mangara the Diplomat.
Whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you or Planeswalker you control, you draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell, each turn, draw a card. That's one of the better cards that we had for a long time for card draw in white. But now we have an artifact that just says that at your end step, if you control 2 or more creatures, draw a card. It's not that hard to get 2 or more creatures. Or technically it's 3. It says 2 or more other creatures.
Well, and it costs 5 to drop. So by the time you're playing this, you're able to activate that ability to create the soldier artifact creature tokens.
Yeah. So
it has Unearth.
So you can get it back. Now, admittedly, it goes away at the beginning of the end step, but we talked about earlier about copying artifacts.
Wait, this doesn't go away at the beginning of the end step?
Yeah, Unearth.
I guess, if you Unearth.
Yeah, Unearth. Yep.
But if you can protect this, you're going to be drawing cards for days.
It's a wonderful card, but that's the reason why I put it on my list, because I immediately saw white with card draw. Good for me.
Okay.
Good for me. And as with the other cards, other than, Root Path Purifier, it's budget friendly. At time of recording, it is $1.50 as a foil. So $1.35. $3.15 for the
extended art's $3.15. It's one of the few times that extended art doesn't.
I know that this whole set was artifact related. The whole set is artifact. That's the Urza and Mishra are the infamous artificers that fought against each other, creating large things to go back and forth to fight against them. There are so many artifacts. It was so difficult to choose which ones to pick for this list. There are so many good ones.
Yeah. It's true. But it's so good. It's so good. Now, I mean, that one's great and all, but you know me and having budget-friendly cards. Thrawn Vigil is mine. So for 1 and a black, you get this wonderful enchantment that says whenever one or more artifact and or creature cards leave your graveyard during your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Yep.
So there's a lovely combo with this. So
target creature you control. So it's not even that artifact. It's just
correct
creature you control.
So go back in time to a wonderful card called Sir Conrad the Grim.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever another creature dies or a creature card is put into the graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Sir Conrad deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Yep.
So there's card number 1. Well, technically 2, because Thrawn Vigil. The next card in this combo, Putrid Goblin. 1/1 or 1 in a black for a 2/2 goblin with persist. Whenever this creature dies, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it.
Yeah, something like Ashnod's Altar or Altar of Dementia.
I like Altar of Dementia because you can mill, because I'm again that kind of player. So you have.
I'm a ramp player. My first thought. More mana? Yes, please.
So what you do, you sacrifice Putrid Goblin to your altar, whether it's Ashnod's Altar,
whatever,
Altar of Dementia, Viserys Seer, whatever that sack outlet.
Low Strider.
Whatever tickles your fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Hits the graveyard, persist triggers, comes in, comes back in. Supposed to have that -1/-1 counter on it, but because of Thrawn Vigil, the counters cancel out. Yep. Sack it again, repeat the loop, and see what drains the table first: the mill or the damage done by Sir Conrad.
Yeah, and Sir Conrad triggers twice off that, so it triggers off that creature dying and when it leaves the battlefield. So,
and if you have Ayara, First of Lochthwain, you're actually doing 3 damage: 1 for when Putrid Goblin hits, 2 when it comes back in.
This is mono black life drain staple right here. It's great. It's not pauper legal.
Nope, because it's uncommon, but that's okay.
It's a minor thing
for any mono black deck. This may make a home in my Rats deck. Yep. But I've got a card that fits so well into my Rats deck that I didn't even mention to you, sir, that I'll share with you later in the show.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of mentioning things that we're going to talk.
Oh, yeah, honorable mentions.
We have our honorable mentions. We do have. I mean, of course we do. There's so many cards in this set that we have to talk about. It's just that these didn't make our top 5 list, right? So this one in particular, as I mentioned before, I'm a green player. I'm the staple green player. I love playing lands. I love getting mana. Perennial Behemoth is a 5-mana Crucible of Worlds. It's admittedly worse than a Crucible because Crucible was 3, but you get to play lands from your graveyard. And it has an unearth for 2 green. So green. It's a 5-mana 2/7. So it's a great blocker. It's not very good on attacking, but it's a great blocker that allows you to recur lands from your graveyard. So any land recursion lands matter deck. If you're missing land drops, but you're playing against a mill deck, shoot, I'll just play Perennial Behemoth and start playing lands from my graveyard. It's a good one. Do you still want to go back and forth on our honorable mentions, or do you just...
Yeah, I mean, I've got let me look here. Honestly, kind of I've got one of them's a big reprint. We can or cannot talk about, no big deal to me. But one of them's a big one that kind of ties into the cycle that we had talked about earlier.
Okay.
So this one, much like Root Path Purifier, is a commander-specific card only found in set boosters and collector boosters. But it is called Urza's Workshop. So it taps to add colorless. But if you have Metalcraft, you add colorless for each Urza's land you control. Activate only if you control 3 or more artifacts. The reason why this one is my honorable mention. If you're playing anything with the Urza Tron lands, this has to be in that.
Yep.
Because each of those lands is going to tap for 3. This will then tap for 4 because you've got Urza's Workshop, Urza's Mine, Urza's Tower, Urza's Power Plant. 4 mana. I mean, it's honestly, it's better than Mana Crypt.
So if you have all of the Urza lands, excluding the Infinity one, you get because 2 of them actually tap for 2.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So it's 2, 4, 7, 11 mana, 4 lands.
Yep.
For fun's sake, why don't you just drop in a Forsaken Shrine? Just add an extra 2 there because you now control 5 or more lands. You now have 13 colorless mana.
Yep.
From 5 lands. It's great. So if you're running an artifact deck, there you go. Speaking of artifacts, that because we love our segues here.
Exactly.
My next honorable mention is a little card called Steel Seraph. Now, Steel Seraph, I have found to be just rather enjoyable because it's a white card, 6 mana. You can prototype it. So it's an alternate casting cost of 1 white, and it comes in as a 3/3. So 3 mana, 3/3, typical. If you cast it for the hard 6, it is a 5/4 flying, or it's a 5/4. If you cast it as a 3/3, it still gets this bottom text, just doesn't have the power and toughness. Flying, at the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gains your choice of flying, vigilance, or lifelink until end of turn. So by the time you get this down, you play it, you have, let's say, I don't know, you just have let's say you have a 4/4 beast or a token of some kind. You can now attack with it, maintain blockers because it has vigilance, or you can give it a evasion through flying, or if you're low on life total, lifelink.
Yep.
It's a great utility card, and it's going to go in a deck that I'm currently building, one that I will mention later.
And if you blink it, the thing with prototype, if you blink this card, so you exile it and return it to the battlefield, it's going to come back as the full 5/4 big baddie. It's not going to come in as the prototype. Yep. So definitely a fun and easy way to kind of cheat it in, and still get double the triggers. It's double the triggers, double the fun.
Hey, that's what we do around here. We combo.
That's how we do. That's how we do. If you know what I mean.
I'm the one in the suit here, so I should be the one talking. Manny, I've had enough of this guy. All right, ice him.
Well, you know what?
I apologize. I apologize for my terrible impression there.
Oh my goodness, I don't know what's happening. But my next honorable mention is a wondrous card called Wondrous Crucible. It's a 7-drop, so it's a big one. But permanents you control have Ward 2. Now, that's huge. That is huge as far as protecting your stuff. 2 mana may not seem like a lot, but
it adds up. If they're having to spend 5 mana on a Poison the Cup or a Murder or a Hero's Downfall, that's
gonna suck.
Yeah, that's 2 mana that they could have used to cast, like, I don't know, a Brainstorm, a Ponder, something else.
Now the one interesting thing about this card is at the beginning of your end step, you mill 2 cards, then exile a non-land card at random from your graveyard, copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. You have the chance to hit a big something big on the crackback, if you will, but
something like Over the Top. Sorry, I love the card.
I know. Because why not have an extra Blightsteel?
Yep, why not?
Why not?
But you're talking about Ward. I'm actually going to skip over Actually, no, it is actually next on my list. Speaking of Ward, no, not that one.
The other one.
It is Mishra, Tamer of Makfawa. We were talking about Ward. I built a commander deck on Arena just because of this card. Mishra is permanent. You control, have Ward, sacrifice a permanent. So if they tried to remove anything from your side of the battlefield, that pesky 4/4 that's swinging in and gaining you life every turn. Oh, wonderful alternate art. They have to sacrifice something. So if they have no creatures, they have to sacrifice a land. If they have an enchantment that's giving them a lot of utility or protection, they have to sacrifice it. And then each artifact in your graveyard has unearthed. So not only is it a way to protect your board state, you can recur all of your artifacts.
Yep.
So many times I've recurred Solemn Simulacrum to get an extra land drop. It's a good card. It's a very good honorable mention. It wasn't. I don't think it was good enough to take anything on my top 5 list, but it's definitely up there.
So if you have Mishra, Tamer of Makfawa as your commander, I hope you're running Turgid in that deck because you're going to get so much stuff out of it.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Or people are just not going to want to target you.
Yeah, if you have Turgid and then you go to cast Mishra and it resolves, they're just going to be like, nah, scoop. And we got to start speeding this up.
Well, you know.
Hey, we talk. Look, we like to talk. I understand.
Okay, that was kind of diabolical. I don't know your intent, but this card, I am so happy this is reprinted. Diabolic Intent has an additional cost to cast the spell, sack a creature, and then you get a tutor for a card.
Yep. Tutors. We all know tutors.
You look at the reprint history. The last time this was printed was in Battle Bond. They did an Invocation. And then Plane Shift. I mean, not that many printings of this card.
Not at all. And you're in black, so you're wanting to sacrifice things anyways. So,
and I mean, who doesn't love tutors? Tutors.
They're great. They're great. And this is going to be the last honorable mention before we go into our final thing that we have to talk about. This is one I threw in last minute because I just couldn't not talk about it. It's something called Arcane Proxy. And like before, like with Steel Seraph, it has that prototype cost for 1 blue instead of 1 white. So this one's 7. Steel Seraph was 6. 1 blue. It comes in as a 2/1. But when Arcane Proxy enters the battlefield, if you cast it, exile target instant or sorcery card with mana value less than or equal to Arcane Proxy's power from your graveyard. Copy that card. You may cast the copy without paying that mana cost. So you talked about earlier about exiling an non-land card, getting a copy of it, possibly hitting something big. This can do this pretty much the same thing, just for your instants or sorceries.
You know what this reminds me of?
¿Qué pasa?
This reminds me of a very expensive card.
Yep.
Called Snapcaster Mage. Same thing.
It's just better because I don't know if I want to call it better because Snapcaster Mage is only 2 mana, and whereas Arcane Proxy is 3 or 7. But with Snapcaster Mage, if you give something flashback, you still have to cast that thing for flashback for whatever its mana cost is. Arcane Proxy, if you have a 4 mana instant or sorcery that you want to cast, and you have Arcane Proxy, not only are you getting a 4/3 that may slot into like I know earlier or in an earlier episode I was talking about building Agar, tribal giants and wizards.
Yep.
This is going to be going into that deck because it's a wizard. It fits in the theme, and it allows me to recur my instants and sorceries from the graveyard. It's not the best, but it's definitely a good card.
It's good. Yeah, no, definitely good. And I mean, the prices show that as well. One category, and we saved this for the end because it is so cool.
We've been talking about a lot, or we're talking a lot about artifacts and how this set is primarily based. My light just went out. Fun fact. primarily based around artifacts. Well, there's a specific artifacts. They're amazing. There are specific artifacts. Oh, Cage Sun. I'm so glad it's getting reprinted. So glad it's reprinted. I pulled a Black Blade Reforged, by the way, BT dubs. I pulled an Aetherflex Reservoir and a Black Blade Reforged. Super happy about it. This wasn't what I was going to talk about, but I'm glad
we did discuss talking about these.
Yeah,
because we love the retro frame. A lot of these artifacts needed reprints between, Aetherflux Reservoir, Altar Dementia, Ashnod's Altar, Astral Cornucopia,
Cage Sun,
Howling Mine. The cool thing I love about these, not only do we get the retro frame, but the schematic versions.
Oh, they're beautiful. Platinum Angel got a reprint?
Yes, Platinum Angel got a reprint. Foundry Inspector, great in any artifact deck. Gilded Lotus. I love the sketch version. Journeyer's Kite. I don't know if you saw that one. Pay 3, tap, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it and put it into your hand. Combine that with the root path.
I wonder what card turns all of my lands into basics.
Mishra's Bauble, Mox Amber, Mind's Eye, Mystic Forge.
I pulled the Mind's Eye. Super excited about it.
The Ornithopter. If you know anything about the lore of the Brothers' War, the Ornithopter was what they had found in the caves of Kolios, and so I'm glad that they reprinted that and gave it that sketchbook style. Quicksilver Amulet,
Ramos, Dragon Engine.
So many good cards. Wormcoil Engine, Unwinding Clock, Swiftfoot Boots. You'd be surprised. This is such a huge card. It's in just about every deck.
Yep.
So the fact that it keeps getting reprinted over and over again is helping drive that cost down. They're putting more supply in, and I'm happy for it.
Yeah, same.
But you were saying, I know you didn't. We talked about.
We did. So that's on me. I'll take the blame for that one. I did forget that we were going to talk about these. But the thing I'm excited about, and this is what I was talking about, revealing cards later on, is a very specific set of cards that was released that you can only find in the set boosters. You can only find them in the set boosters, and they do my childish heart wonders. It is the Transformer cards. I cannot explain how excited I am. I have been a Transformers junkie since Gen 1. Beast Wars. Gen 1, Gen 2, Beast Wars. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I love
okay, so
I know I'm getting so excited about it. But what you're showing right now is the Shattered Glass artwork, right?
Where it's like if Optimus was
Shattered Glass is an alternate universe where the Autobots were the bad guys and the Decepticons were the good guys.
I love it.
It's so amazing. And I actually have, so I immediately ordered these, right? I spent so much money ordering these. And I actually have Optimus and Megatron right here. Oof. These are the how funny is it that I ordered all of them off of TCG Player at the same time, and the two that arrived first are Optimus and Megatron.
Okay, so you talk about you spend a lot of money on that.
I'm so excited.
Just so you know, you're gonna hate me. You're going to hate me.
Oh please, I already hate you.
Oh no. See, it was announced today that there's a secret layer coming.
I'm going to lose so much money, Josh. Good thing.
So Megatron is Blightsteel Colossus,
which is not only needed a reprint in general,
but in fact,
but is Megatron as Blightsteel Colossus is extremely flavorful.
Oh yeah. Well, and the backside.
Yep.
So they've got two versions. They've got Megatron as his Transformer side, and then Megatron converted, because it's not transform, it's convert.
It's convert. Because in the universe, in lore, Transformers do not transform, they convert.
Exactly. So you've got that Megatron. You've got the Allspark.
Doubling
cube. And then Optimus is Darksteel Colossus.
Fun fact: go back to Doubling Cube real quick. Look at the flavor text.
Peace through tyranny.
On this side, it is peace through tyranny. On the other side is freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
So if I had to guess, they're going to be double-sided, kind of like what they did with the Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, where you have the choice to flip.
It's these are so great. But yeah, Optimus Prime is Darksteel Colossus, which is trample indestructible. Doesn't have infect like Bloodsteel. This is just Darksteel. So it's the good version.
Yep, but if it'd be put in the graveyard from anywhere, you reveal it, shuffle it into the library. And then there's the enchantments, True Conviction.
Creatures you control have double strike and lifelink, which I'm going to
Dramatic Reversal. This one was huge. This card is so freaking expensive and composts really well with Icecrown Scepter. Not that I would know.
Yeah, right.
Fabricate.
Search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Oh,
I love the artwork on this one. Collective Brutality.
Escalate. You can escalate it by discarding a card. Choose one or more. This one had oh my god, what is his name? He is, oh my god, I can't believe that I'm forgetting his name.
It's okay.
Give me a second.
I'll forget.
I'm so disappointed in myself.
It's all right. Well, while you're thinking of that, by force, red and X destroy X target artifacts. So great form of targeted removal across the board.
Devastator. Devastator is his name.
Greater good. Oof.
Yep. Sacrifice an enchantment, draw cards equal to or sacrifice a creature. Enchantment.
One day an Autobot shall rise from our ranks and use the power of the Matrix to light our darkest hour. Until that day, till all are one. And
what's absolutely fantastic about that is that he's handing over the Matrix of Leadership to Ultra Magnus, who after if you watch the movie, Ultra Magnus was the character that stepped into Optimus's place after Optimus, spoiler alert, died. And then they brought Optimus back. He gave him back the Matrix of Leadership. It's so good. This set. So we have the planes, the Cybertron lands. Like I said, I'm going to lose so much money because I need play sets of all of these. I hate it. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. I love it. But we have
no. Let's rephrase. Let's call it for like it is. You love it. Your wallet hates
my
it.
wallet. My wallet is screaming at me. Please stop. I can only do so much. Please,
right?
don't take out my
so
money.
So everyone knows each of these sets will cost $30 for non-foil or $40 for foil. To be honest, I would go with the non-foil.
I'm going to go with the non-foil.
They will curl. So I guess if you want Pringles,
I still have my Godzilla lands sitting here. So my Godzilla lands that I ordered, however many eons ago, however many years, they've been sitting on my desk. I usually keep them underneath something heavy. They are still. You can still.
Yep, they're still.
Tell, they are still turned. They are still crinkled.
Yeah,
and they've been sitting here for a while. I'll take them out occasionally to try to figure out where to put them, then put them right back because I don't want to put them in anything. I like them right where I have them on my desk. But in this, we have Optimus Prime, we have Megatron, we have RC, Soundwave,
Bumblebee, although it's a different name.
Reason for that is because Goldbug, he became Goldbug after he was revived. He's essentially the same character. It's just that due to trademarks and stuff, they gave him the name of Goldbug rather than Bumblebee. Ultra Magnus, which the 2 decks I'm building, I mentioned earlier, I'm building Optimus Prime, +1/+1 counters, Tribal Humans, because he's the leader. He leads not only his forces, but Earth's forces against the tyrannical rule of the Decepticons. The second deck I'm building is Ultra Magnus, which is going to be Naya artifacts, cheating out a bunch of artifacts, getting so many things, go over the top. It's great. I love it. But there's a card in there, and then when I mentioned earlier in the episode about a specific deck that DJ needs to build.
Oh, yeah, that one.
There is a legendary creature transformer called DJ, Combat Blaster. DJ, you are being called out right now. I believe you may have been called out already.
Let me pull that up. Hold on.
I believe you may have been called out already by someone else.
Whatever, we're taking it.
We're taking it. You need to build this deck. You need to build this and show it off, play it.
Now,
Blaster. It's Blaster Combat DJ, not DJ Combat Blaster. But
would you have him go with this version or the shattered version?
The Shattered Glass is extremely nice, admittedly. But I think DJ is more of the original. I'd say he's more of an original artwork kind of guy.
Yeah. Oh, look at that boombox.
Blaster, morale booster. So I may have switched the name up a little bit, but still. It has DJ in the name. So DJ from Jumbo Commander, you have to build the deck. More than meets the eye, and all of the Transformer cards have more than meets the eye on it. It's an alternate casting cost. You may cast this card for its alternate side or its converted side for however many. Blaster says other non-token artifact creatures and vehicles you control have modular 1, which means that they enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on them. And when they die, you may move their +1/+1 counters on it, however many they may have, to a different artifact creature.
Yep.
And then whenever you put one
to another creature that has, is it
target artifact creature?
Oh, nice. So that's even better than modular. So I've seen other ones where it says you have to move it to other creatures with modular.
I don't remember seeing those, but I know that modular says that specifically you move them to artifact creatures.
I'll look it up later.
Okay. But whenever you put one or more +1/+1 counters on Blaster, convert it, which it then becomes an artifact. Now, all the other ones except Blaster and Soundwave, these are the only 2 that when they convert, they turn into legendary artifacts. Every other one turns into a legendary artifact vehicle.
That does not crew, actually.
It does. Yeah, and none of them crew. And there's specific rules behind that. But modular 3, and you can pay X and tap it, move X +1/+1 counters from Blaster onto another target artifact. That artifact gains haste until end of turn, and if Blaster has no +1/+1 counters on it, convert it. Activate only as a sorcery.
So here's what you do. Forgotten Ancient. Move all those counters on it. Use Blaster Morale Booster's ability. Move all those counters over to the Ozolith.
It does say target artifact.
And then, if other creatures have counters like Lifelink, Death Touch, Flying counters, the Ozolith can then move those onto
Blaster.
Combat
Blaster. Yep.
So there you go.
It's really cool. It can do a lot of combat shenanigans if played right. I'm excited. I'm just so glad they released Transformer cards, man. Look,
that
I'm
has
so
been
excited.
Now I won't lie, I've been very harsh towards Hasbro specifically with their choices. But that being said, the fact that they have allowed these different IPs to come into the world of Magic, that has
Warhammer.
Really the Warhammer decks. Ooh.
If you haven't checked out our gameplay video with Warhammer, go check it out. Some spicy plays.
Oh man, that was
2 very
that
special
was a hell
guests.
of a game.
2 very special guests.
Now there was a card that I was mentioning. Well, I was teasing. And his final card we'll share for this episode because I'm about to go convert into the bed and pass out.
Fair.
Have you, my friend, looked at anything or seen anything for Jumpstart 2022?
I looked a little bit. I haven't been spoiled too much.
Okay.
I'm trying to maintain my wallet focused on this at the moment.
So if you know me as a player, you know that I have certain tribes that I love within Magic. Mm-hmm. Elves, Phyrexians, Slithers, Rats.
Yeah.
The Rats was the first tribal deck I had ever built as 60 card constructed, and it was also the first tribal deck that I built when I got into Commander. Well, there's a new staple for Rats decks. So right now the staples are Marinar, Ogre Slumlord, Piper of the Swarm, the Rogue.
Rat Colony, Pack Rats.
Rat Colony, Pack Rat, Relentless Rats.
Yeah.
But this one.
This is the card that was spoiled to me because I mentioned to my friends that I was building a tribal Warlock deck. And this honestly fits right in there as well.
Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm. This card, at this point, I'm already coming to the conclusion that as soon as this is played, it is a kill on sight card. Mm-hmm. So Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm is a rat warlock that costs 3 and a black for a 3/4. Whenever Ashcoat of the Shadow Swarm attacks or blocks, other rats you control get +X/+X, where X is the number of rats you control. At the beginning of your end step, you may mill 4 cards. If you do, return up to 2 target or 2 rat creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. With my particular build of rats, I'm running 17 copies of Relentless Rats. This allows me to get those rats out, then I can cast them and then have Thrumming Stone trigger, just get the rats going. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, I have the ability to create an obscene number of rats. Once Ashcoat swings, all my rats get an obscene buff.
Yep.
And then if they're running Fear and Death Touch,
if you have Marinar on the battlefield,
and if I've got Marinar on the field, Ogre Slumlord. So Marinar gives them Fear, Ogre Slumlord gives them Death Touch, and
have fun with it. Throw a Whip of Erebos in there. Give them lifelink.
No. I'm going to bring up my list here because, yeah, it's disgusting.
We're not sponsored by Scryfall or Moxfield, but they're great tools. No. Check them out.
I love Scryfall. Rat Catcher also gives them Fear, and it allows me to tutor out. But I thought there was one that gave them all Menace. But yeah, I mean this works out so freak. Oh, Piper of the Swarm gives them all Menace.
There we go.
I knew I had it in there. But yeah, obscene, absolutely obscene. Now, I had also added, because of Ashcoat, I added Septic Rats.
Ooh.
1 black for a 2/2 rat with Infect. Whenever it attacks, if defending player's poison, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. That's irrelevant to me.
Yep.
What is relevant is if I have Ashcoat out and I have more than 8 rats, someone's dying that turn. I can also, I realized the other day, I can play Tainted Strike on Crypt Rats and then just kill the entire table and nobody wins. But yes, Ashcoat,
not even
the Shadow Swarm, is such a key component in any rat deck.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that is probably the one when I saw that I squealed. I squealed like a rat. And it was so worth it.
But yeah, so we've discussed Brothers War. We discussed a little bit of Jumpstart. We talked about the Transformers Secret Lair and the Transformers cards that have been released. This has been
I found out about an hour before we recorded.
Yeah, you sent me the link, and I was just sitting in my car like, it was great. It was great, wonderful. Oh, but we need to start wrapping this up. It has been a long episode. So, guys, if you like us doing this, make sure to like the video, subscribe, leave a comment even. We try to put out content like this regularly. We even do gameplay episode. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a Warhammer 40K where we play the decks with 2 special guests. We have a whole pod. We have a lot of fun here.
That was a fun game.
Very much fun. But thank you, Josh, for joining me as always. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all of you being here. But keep your eyes open. I may not be nearly as well dressed as next time, but I'm excited to see you all in the next episode. So keep an eye out for Magic Crusaders. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, this is Nightlight 95 tapping out. Until next time, have a good night.
Peace.